Hello and welcome to my channel. This is Miss Shirley with English TV. Lately our focus has been on John Lara's The Samaritan. Today I want us to look at the themes in Act 1, Scene 2. So the themes, Act 1, Scene 2 talks about the rift, the conflict between Ted and Seymour and Mossy and his team. So we had a conflict between Ted and Seymour and Mossy and the others because they were not in agreement because of the supplementary estimate. Ted and Seymour wanted Mossy to approve the supplementary estimate, while the others, Mossy included, did not really see the need for that because they were already in enough trouble. So let us take a look at the themes. So the first theme was the theme of ignorance. We see that Ted was busy on his phone during the entire time of the emergency meeting. Yet we get to know that they'll still ask for sitting allowance for that meeting. So we can also, under ignorant, we also got to see that almost all the leaders had not read the newspapers lately. So it is safe to bring in the theme of ignorance. So apart from ignorance, we have the theme of dictatorship. Mossy gets all the newspapers. Mossy gets to buy all the newspapers so that the citizens of Maracas municipality don't get access to the newspapers. So we can see that that is dictatorship because people have the freedom to information. They need the information and they need to know what is happening. So next we had the theme of the role of the media in the society. We saw that through the media we can see how information spreads around Maracas. So the information about the leaders and the Samaritan app was passed on through the media. So next we can look at corruption. So Justice Jayden says that the reporters should be given boxes of chocolate. So that takes us to the theme of corruption. We can see that even judges in Maracas municipality are corrupt and taking part in corrupt practices. Next, we can look at violence, where Bembe talks about threatening the reporters who are reporting about him and Madingo Golf Club. So we bring in violence. It is safe to say that the leaders in Maracas municipality are violent because they're using threats to get to reporters. So yes, we can talk about violence. Next, we can talk about technology. We can see that the app is a source of information to the newspapers, as information is shared in the app through videos, files, texts, pictures, and all that. So technology is pretty much brought in. Even with the media, we're also talking technology. The Samaritan app, that is technology. So our technology is also well developed in Act 1, Scene 2. Next, we can talk about misappropriation of funds, where Ted and Seymour are said to be supplying, according to the Samaritan app. That means there's no supplying anything, and yet they're asking for, they're billing the municipal without services. Ted and Seymour supplying they bill the municipal without the actual services. So in this case, we can talk about the misappropriation of funds, the misuse of public funds. Embezzlement of funds can also come in because the funds meant for something else are used for something other than what it was meant for. So next we can talk about we can still talk about the theme of violence, where Seymour says that those posting about him, he's actually threatening. He talks as if he will threaten those who are posting about him in the Samaritan app. So again, we can talk about violence on that part. Next, we can talk about drug trafficking, where in the Samaritan app, it is said that Ted and Seymour are taking part in drug trafficking in Maracas municipality. So yes, you can feel free to bring that as a theme. Next, we can look at grabbing of public land. Later on in the book, it is clear that right now in the Samaritan app, Bembe is accused, and also Ted and Seymour are all accused of grabbing public land. Later on in the book, we'll get to see that where Madingo Golf Club is built, we get to see that that is university land and therefore public land. So in that case, we can bring it in as one of the themes. Next, we can talk about the use of proxies to secure municipal tenders. So later on, we see how Ted and Seymour bring in family in the municipal projects. So in this case, they're using proxies to secure public tenders or municipal tenders. Next, we can talk about gang warfares and murder. Later on in the book, we get to see we have different gangs with different political leaders. So yes, gang and warfares is also coming up as a theme, as a tendency, or also is also said that they are posted in the Samaritan app with taking part in gang warfares and murder. We can even later get to know how people fear Simo because he is involved with the disappearance of people in Maracas municipality. So next we can talk about misappropriation of public funds, again, public resources, because it is not clear where Bembe got the money to put up the Madingo Golf Club. It is not clear. That means maybe he used public resources for his personal businesses. So we can talk about misuse of public resources. Next, we can talk about law and justice. Under law and justice, we can bring in the Samaritans, those group of lawyers who are calling upon volunteers to help in the prosecution of those involved in corruption. So in that case, we can also talk about law and justice as a theme. Next, we can talk about the abuse of power. Bembe talks about bringing in a law that will ban people from using the Samaritan app. So in that case, we can talk about the misuse of office or power. We can also talk about dictatorship, the theme of dictatorship, where both Mosi, Bembe, and all of them are almost talking about banning the Samaritan app. It is not allowed, as people should be allowed the freedom of expression and information. So next we can talk about technology. Technology is also